All right, so here we are for the last video of the 5 video worksheets for the research topic unit of the course. And this video is titled Common Reasons for Inactivity and How to Fix Them. So when I mean inactivity, I mean sedentary and not being active. So to begin, we're going to borrow some terms from the field of psychology, and we're going to apply them to a physical activity. And the terms that I'd like you to know are these. So the first one is called an internal locus of control, and that's the belief where people believe that they are in control of their own destiny and they are the causes of all of their successes and failures in life. They believe they are in control of their own life. And then an external locus of control is where people believe that they are not in control of their own destiny and that things happen to them because of luck, fate, and other things like that. External locus of control, people very much believe that they don't have any control over what happens to them in their own lives. Now we're going to get into the common reasons why people are not active. So we're going to do a quick Google search and we're going to look up all of the different excuses and reasons that people have for why they are not able to be active. All right, so now let's hop on Google. All right, here we go. Common excuses for not being active. And right away, top of the results, we've got a couple here. I'm too tired to exercise. I can't afford a gym. I don't have time. I need to be motivated, and I don't like to exercise alone. Let's click in here and see what other ones I have to. I'm too tired, can't afford. This one's a good one. I don't have time because I'm a full-time parent. This one's interesting. I get bored easily and exercise is no fun. That one is I'm too old, uncoordinated, and embarrassed to exercise. And I don't like to sweat, or I don't want to have to take another shower and reapply makeup. So those are just a couple examples of different excuses people have. So those are just some common reasons why people choose not to be active. And now I'm going to quickly go over a couple of the solutions or counter arguments as to why people actually can do exercise. So for the first one, people don't have time. Everybody has the same amount of hours in a day, yet some people still make time for exercise and some don't. So people who blame not having time, they could also just try cutting down on some time for other things that they do. So for example, maybe they spend 3 hours a day on social media. They could cut that down to an hour and a half, and then they would have an hour and a half to go and exercise. Another one is being the one that we saw earlier, the one where people talking about being too old. And to be honest, nobody's too old to exercise. And the more active that you are when you're older is actually going to help your body to make sure that you're independent and you are able-bodied, meaning that you won't need people's help to walk up and down the stairs or tie your shoes or sit down on the toilet. And then the third excuse is I have kids. So I don't really like this excuse because you can use physical activity as a way to actually spend time with your kids. You can try exercising with them, or you guys can go do bike rides. But you can work your physical activity in with your kids and use it as a way to spend time with them as well. And then being too tired. So being too tired, if you're too tired at the end of your workday, then you could try working out in the morning. Or maybe try working out at a time of day where you know that you're going to have energy. So it could just be maybe you have to quickly get a little bit of exercise in on your lunch break, but then that means that at least you've done it and then you don't have to worry about getting it done later on that day. Gyms are too expensive is another excuse that we had. And my counter for that would be that try reducing your spending elsewhere. So a lot of time people spend money on things that they don't necessarily need. So for example, some people spend $2 a day on coffee every day. And what they could do is instead of going out for coffee every morning, they could just buy their own bag of coffee. It would save them like $30 a month and then make their coffee at home. And then they could use that money towards a gym membership. There's other examples I could come up with, but it's just a matter of thinking, okay, what can I cut my spending down on so that I can afford to be active? And then the last one I'm going to go over is exercise is boring. So this one is, some exercise could be boring to some people. Some people are going to like different activities over others. But the great thing about physical activity is that there are so many different types that you can do. So you can just need to try as many as you need to until you find one that you like. And then once you find the one that you like, then you need to stick with it, because you're more likely to go and do something that you enjoy than you are to go and do something that you don't. Now, going back to these excuses. So I don't have time. I'm too old. I have kids. I'm too tired. Gyms are too expensive and exercise is boring. What do you notice? Who is being blamed for not being active? Whose fault is it? And who isn't being blamed for their lack of physical activity? So a lot of times, and especially with these excuses that we just saw, a lot of the times all of these excuses are to blame other people and other situations. The person believes that it's never their own fault why they are inactive. And there's always someone or something else is the reason why they can't be active. Sometimes people actually have really good excuses why they can't be active. Maybe they have a really bad injury that flares up every time they're being active and it causes them a lot of pain. Or maybe they get really dizzy or they get sick or something like that when they're being physically active. For those people, yes, those excuses are good and valuable, but the excuses that I described above with being too old, being too many kids, or gyms being too expensive and stuff like that, most common excuses that people give for not being active are reasons where they are placing blame on somebody else and they are not taking their own responsibility for being active in their own life. Now, for the last question, you guys are going to tell me, I want you to look back at those excuses and look back at the internal and external locus of control. Tell me, with those excuses, do you think that the persons have an internal or external locus of control? And why do you think that? That's it. It's the last video. Thank you for watching. Bye.